Welcome back to MLB Tonight. I'm Robert Flores, here alongside with former GM Dan O'Dowd and baseball researcher Sarah Langs. MLB Draft Combine is coming up. It's always an exciting time. Dan, what can we expect? What are you going to be looking for?
Well, Robert, for me, this is one of the most important events on the baseball calendar each and every year. If you look at it, all the clubs get a chance to answer the questions they have on the players. And then all the best players in the country get to showcase their skills in front of 30 clubs. So, I mean, I'm just really excited to see what's going to happen.
Sarah, it's a 4-day event. It's held at Chase Field in Phoenix. What advanced metrics can players and viewers expect to see?
I mean, there's so much data with this event. Part of why I love it so much, and I've been there every time this has been held. So glad we're back again. For pitchers, you got pitch velocity, you got spin rate, you got extension. For hitters, we have your exit velocity, launching, and of course the distance on those home runs.
Well, congratulations and good luck to all the young athletes as they continue their journey to hopefully one day land in the big leagues.
Welcome to day one of the MLB Draft Combine from Chase Field in Arizona. The top high school and college player prospects showcased their skills this week, giving all MLB clubs another opportunity to evaluate this year's draft class. It should be an impactful few days here in the desert. Alongside Sarah Langs, I'm Dan O'Dowd, and it's time for batting practice. So let's focus on what's happening down in the cage. Sarah, BP started now, and this is where the scouts really bear down. They're looking at presence in the box. They're looking at the balance, rhythm, and timing of the swings. They're looking at how clean a swing path is. They're looking how connected a player can be to a swing. And they're looking at the ability if they can hit the ball the entire field.
And there's so much data that comes along with BP. We've got exit velocity, which means we can look at how often a player's hitting the ball hard. In this day and age, hitting the ball hard has an actual definition. That's 95 plus miles an hour. And why do we care about that? Because in today's game, if you hit the ball hard, you're going to hit about 500 on those batted balls with a 1,000 slugging percentage. Another stat we'll look at is launch angle. And what we define as a sweet spot batted ball is 8 to 32 degrees of launch angle, basically a line drive. So I'll be looking at how often these players will be making that kind of contact as well.
You know, I think about big league players like Alvarez, Judge, Ohtani, Trout. Their hard hit ball data is crazy. Their launch angles are very, very, very consistent. And you add all the things that we're evaluating, and think about, Sarah, the pressure these young players are under right now is probably the most pressure-packed BP these players have ever taken in their careers. This was a tough round of BP. You can almost see from the very first swing that he was outside of himself, trying to do too much, a lot of lift and separation swings, trying to hit for power, not trying to stay within himself. Again, these are the nerves and pressure of the moment, and this will be a great learning experience. We're going to focus on the first baseman's now. For me, this is what I call an awareness position. You always have to be aware of where you are in the field and what type of play you have to make to affect the outcome. So we're going to look at double play turns, watch footwork and the accuracy of the arm and the slot the arm comes from, because your slot's got to be true. The ball's got to be true to second base. We're going to look at bunt plays, how quickly they charge. Are they in control of their movement patterns? Can they make an accurate throw to third base on the run? And then we're going to look at plays at the plate, the do-or-die plays. So we're looking at how they handle the pressure of making a throw under those kind of conditions.
Obviously, for first baseman, we're not going to focus or glorify arm strength in quite the same way. You have to make some crucial throws. That's not what I focus on here. Here, I really think about range, and that's where we can think about those range-based metrics that we have, of course, not in the moment, but what comes out over the course of the season. Things like outs above average and ultimate zone rating. Those are stats which we'll take a look at every ball that was hit in a first baseman's way and how accurately and well he fielded that ball.
Sarah, this is the one position on the field where you have the opportunity to pick up your teammates defensively night in and night out. They need to know that they've got a first baseman over there, like a Paul Goldschmidt, for an example, that any ball in the general vicinity, they're going to make that play and they're going to save the club for an error. It's a position of accumulation for me of a ton of reps. It's something you've got to work on an everyday basis. So we're beginning to get a feel for the athleticism of these players and their ability to actually be able to do that day in and day out. Tough round for this young man. You can see he's putting a lot of pressure on himself. You know, he looks like he's very raw in his skill set, but I love the deep projection on him. He's just a kid that you're going to have to be very, very patient with his development timeline and really to get him a firm understanding how his body needs to work fundamentally to be able to be a consistent fielder. Well, we're down to the pitchers now, Sarah, and the variety of things scouts are looking for when they look at pitcher. They're looking at, how well their body works over the rubber. I talk about balance, rhythm, and timing within their delivery. They're certainly looking at arm strength. They're going to measure spin, horizontal movement, but you're really going to look at command. I mean, where the catcher's set up, can you throw the ball to that spot, within the strike zone or outside the strike zone, and can you do that with multiple pitches?
As you said, already a handful of things that will be measured here. Of course, velocity. You mentioned spin rate. Something else clubs take a look at is active spin. That's what percentage of that spin rate actually contributes to movement, as opposed to just spinning but not changing the way the ball is actually moving.
And so that's why deliveries are so important. Every one of those metrics, Sarah, is tied to your ability to duplicate your unique body type. And that's why you can get a lot out of these bullpen sessions by bearing down on a pitcher's delivery. Above average. I'm a big believer in looking at hand speed and arm speed, and this young man has both of that. Tremendous feel and spin on his breaking ball, something you really can't teach. Command and control was a little bit spotty, but athleticism and pure arm strength, he goes near the top of the board.